Arganissima, New York. Your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today at www.arganissima.com. Arganissima, New York. Your beauty is our duty. Arganissima.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to the iHealth channel and iHealth Radio. And today's again another Innovate show with the one and only Hurricane H here. And of course, every scheduled show we have a guest. And today we have Monique Idemudia, right?
That's
Did I
right.
say it? All right, I got that one right. Good, good, good. The conversation today will go about a topic that affects pretty much all industries, and ultimately in the healthcare, we are always promoting things, and there's always, a way of promoting your stuff, and there are different means and channels and ways that you can do that. And of course, the world that we live in the last couple of decades has leaned towards digital marketing. And it's happening online, it's happening in the digital cyber world type, right? And so today we have Monique, and Monique is actually with Dragon Digital Marketing, all the way from St. Petersburg in Florida. And she'll be talking to us a little bit about the digital marketing world and how it relates, how it connects, how it benefits, and how can it be effectively utilized in our business world and various industries. And obviously every type of industry might have a different spin on things, and obviously we're going to talk about that today and see what we can learn. And we'll basically have some questions and answers here, and maybe we'll talk about some pros and cons and how it all works. And that's about it. So let's get started. So Monique, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, everybody. I'm Monique Idemudia. Dragon Digital Marketing is my digital marketing agency, and we help small businesses to build an online presence with digital marketing, and we focus on inbound digital marketing strategies that help you grow organically through content marketing that you then share across various channels to build an online presence and aim to be omnipresent everywhere.
So online presence, that is the place where it's happening right now. I mean, everybody, there's influencers, there is all kind of stuff. It's all hyped up. All right. And so why is that? I mean, there's traditional marketing, which it's like it's losing its position in the industry world, and how it is always it used to be the way to go. And whether it be billboards, media, classifieds, and different things, paper, print, radio, all that stuff. But now we get a little bit more on everything that is a digital platform. So let's talk about all those mediums, like what are they, and how they typically I guess weigh out against the traditional media.
Yes, that's right. So the internet just affects more and more areas of our daily lives, and people are spending a lot of time online, and they're spending a lot of time on social media, on YouTube, watching videos, on blogs, reading articles. They're getting their news online from Google. They're searching for things. People use search engines a lot, and people shop online. So a lot of things have just shifted from offline to online in recent years. And especially now, ever since COVID happened, a lot of things shifted even more towards online. So marketing your business online is just becoming super important, almost to the point where you can't even have a 100% offline, traditionally run business anymore nowadays. You need some part of digital component to also reach your audience and your customers online and meet them where they are, which is on the internet. A lot of people use mobile devices as well. So we're always connected and available. And that's a great opportunity for businesses to use those digital technologies and stay front of mind and market their business with the help of those digital technologies.
Right. So what are the digital uh, types of marketing, opportunities that are out there? I mean,
Yes,
there are the platforms, but there's also ways to utilize the platforms correctly or
yes.
effectively. I would say.
So there are search engines, for example, and there's search engine marketing, which is marketing on search engines. You can do that organically through search engine optimization or SEO, or run paid ads through Google Ads. There's social media marketing, which is marketing your business on various social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitch, so
Too
many.
many TikTok now.
Right, TikTok now.
Yeah,
So
it's
many
coming up.
social media platforms that are becoming more and more popular, and people are spending more and more time on those platforms. And then there's content marketing, which is like podcasting, what you do, and blogging and writing content, publishing videos, just creating content, designing graphics, this content too that you put out there and distribute across different channels. Then we have email marketing, which is sending out emails to your subscribers if you have an email list and you can sell through your email list. You can also provide valuable resources and tips to your email list and just stay in touch and have that connection, build that relationship, engage in conversation, ask questions, get feedback, get validation through email. There's a lot of things that you can do there. Then there's marketing automation, which is basically employing software to handle repetitive tasks or processes that software can handle just faster, more efficiently, and more reliably than a person could for you. There's marketing analytics, which is like, it's a science of itself. It's basically leveraging and understanding all of the digital metrics that are out there and attributing the success, like the conversion rates, for example, of different channels, and mapping that to the success of your business. There's online PR, which is another digital marketing channel. So if you're doing outstanding in your business and you make the news and you get mentioned online by the press, or you're, for example, a public speaker, or you're being interviewed on a podcast, like I'm interviewed by you right now. So that would be
Well,
public,
we're having a dialogue.
right?
So that's a lot. I mean,
A
you
lot
just
of people.
there were a whole list of things that it's hard to actually even just capture them. Once you'll have to have a list. It's a menu, and of course, depend on the magnitude of the business, the capital of the business. How well they're doing. Are they new? Obviously, there's different things they can pick. So it's a nice little menu to select from. Different items work for different businesses maybe differently than and better than others, right? Uh,
That's
but there's a lot of it, right? And I'm assuming there's also a lot of competition in this world. I mean, this is the new thing, and everybody's, I see ads all the time, everywhere on my social media. I get pop-ups, from everything, and not to mention we get all these sponsored things that come up on onto your streams, and then also there is you mentioned automation, and I'm assuming AI based or robotic, type of stuff. Is that what we refer to?
Oh yeah, so there's super advanced automation using like AI or machine learning technology and all of that. But there's also more simple, like the simplest form of marketing automation would be something like an email autoresponder. So somebody submits your contact form and that triggers an automatic email that just says, "Thank you for contacting us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can."
And
So
that will be also similar to when you go to somebody's website and you leave the website and then they're like, "Hey, you left something. What happened?" you know I mean, there's those, right? You get some, you find some sites that actually immediately, if you just check something out and you leave or you close the browser, they'll just send you a quick bleep and say, hey,
Notification, yeah.
or they even give you like a discount thing. Hey, hey, put your email and we can get you some stuff. So those are all, I guess, digital marketing tactics
Yes,
that I use. Now, I'm assuming the agency does all of that, right?
that's right.
Okay. And now for somebody in any industry um, that wants to utilize this variety of choices that you just mentioned, how do they get to, like, if we were in the company right now and I was to have a dialogue with you about potentially having you as my uh, digital marketing company, what would be things that I should be asking for, or what would be things that I would be, that would need to have for you to actually give me a successful campaign, for example, or multiple campaigns?
Yeah, so one of the most important things is to actually know what you want. So you should be really clear about what your goals are and what you want to achieve, because this is like the basis of everything that a digital marketing company can do for you. So they're going to plan the strategies and the tactics that they're going to use and which channels that they're going to focus on, all based on your goals and what can give you the best results to achieve those goals. And then the second most important thing is to really know your target audience. So you have to really know who you're trying to reach and who you're trying to target, so we can do a great job and target the right people for you that your marketing messages resonate with, so you can see the best results.
So that could be geo access type of mapping. It could be age group, economic, type of
Yeah.
situation, all that stuff. So use all those metrics to determine, what is the proper audience. But again, for someone that think that, like, listen, it sounds all good. I want it all, right? I mean, there's a price tag, right? Obviously, to everything. If you were to quantify the cost of digital marketing compared to traditional marketing,
Mhm.
how does that, compare? Because a lot of people probably ask the question. I've actually used agencies myself in my real world. I mean, this is my side world, but in my day work or day job, we do work with marketing, and there's usually a menu. Like when we have a proposal, I mean, it's a pretty much a diversified portfolio of things that we do, from print, billboards, ads, radio, bus shelters, whatever you name it, and of course digital, social, email campaign. And each one of those has its own type of merit and its own type of return on investment type of thing. So what would be that balance? And what would it be? Obviously you do all digital. I'm assuming you don't do any traditional, but I'm sure that's competition as well. So how do you fare against that?
Yeah, so like you've already said, you never want to put all of your eggs in one basket. So you want to focus on different things and do everything that makes sense for you. So you want to have different campaigns that incorporate different digital marketing channels, and you choose what's the best for that business. And digital marketing, in comparison to traditional marketing, is just a lot more cost effective, because you know exactly what you're getting. Like if you publish a Facebook ad, you can see how many impressions you've gotten, how many people you've reached, how many people engage with your ad, how many people click through, and so on. If you had an ad in a magazine, you have like like a number of how many copies of that magazine that they might sell, but you never know exactly,
Circulation, yeah.
yeah, people you've reached. So you don't have that tracking aspect. You don't get all of the metrics and all of the analytics. And with digital marketing, everything is just so transparent, and you can strategically work with it a lot better. That makes it a lot more cost effective.
So obviously when you do regular traditional, I mean, there's usually phone numbers, or there's some codes that, when there's telemarketing involved, people have to go. If they go online, they'll have to put in a code, so this way you can track your campaigns and initiatives based on which medium, which media campaign was, which print, paper, radio, all that stuff. With anything social, with anything digital, to your point, you have a whole insights type of section that you can literally get graphs. And now, some people may not know how to navigate that. I mean, there's true plays, like for Facebook, there's true plays, there's impressions. They sound good, but a lot of those things sound sometimes to me personally. I mean, sales and marketing, so I get a little bit of it. But there are the common folks that may not know what those are and how they kind of work with you, and how do you quantify if this is a successful campaign or not? I mean, you can get a lot of views. What does that mean to you? I mean, are they going? What's the call to action, right? That's another, big thing, deliverable that should happen every time you have any type of marketing, right? So, what do you say to that?
That's right. So a successful campaign is a campaign that makes you more money than you've invested into it. Simple as that. So
I
you
like
measure
it.
marketing success by your ROI. And of course, you need to put something into that machine, so to speak, to get more clients and more customers and more sales out of it for your business. So you need those impressions and the views and everything. But at the end of the day, you don't want to focus too much on them and get caught up with those vanity metrics, because like I said, what counts is if it promotes your business and if it makes you more money. If it just gets you a ton of likes and a ton of subscribers that never buy anything from you, yeah, you don't increase the value of your business and you're not growing your business and achieving something economically right there.
So your agency, for example, would literally, discuss those details with the actual, I guess, client and business, and then you guys to tailor type of, a certain, campaign based on budget and metrics and so on and so forth, and then you monitor the effectiveness of it as well, and the results. And ultimately, to your point, if the results are not there, the client's not going to be very pleased, right? So we want to make sure that there is a deliverable, and there is, to your point, a healthy return on investment for whatever that campaign would be. Now, I have a different question now, and this is something that I've experienced personally. It is aggressive. Digital marketing is pretty aggressive, and again, not only you see it everywhere, but even in your inbox sometimes. I mean, there's junk mail, there's spam, there's all kind of stuff. How do you, kind of work through that? And I can tell you, for example, in some of the platforms, and I can speak, clearly about, for example, I use LinkedIn a lot, amongst others, but in LinkedIn I get a lot of, almost cookie cutter type of introductions. And what baffles me a little bit, especially being in sales and marketing and understanding the audience, understanding, the needs, and you have to know who your audience is. I get folks that may have nothing to do with what I do, and trying to connect. I mean, connecting is one thing. Networking, you never know, right? There's opportunities. As a matter of fact, I was going to do a whole show just about that because I find it a little bit kind of, for me, I can swallow it. I can move on with it. But there are people that get upset, like, stop sending me junk mail. Stop, just get on my inbox, right? And, on the flip side, I happened to one time used, a digital campaign. It was on Facebook, and it was approved. And the campaign was global. So, because for the channel, it was just I was looking for candidates to do a debate, and so I get this people from a different part of the world, and they send me this comment, stop bombarding my wall on Facebook. They were upset. So, and I'm being nice, by the way. Just that's not exactly what they said. they were a little bit less courteous on their comments. But so in the campaign, is there a way to actually prevent that, or maybe avoid some of that? Because, for example, in the Facebook context, it's global. You pick up, a different target audience, a nation or various states or whatever, and then it just keeps popping up, to those folks in their feed. And some people get upset. Now, for me, I get stuff all the time, especially on Facebook type, or Instagram. You get pop-ups, it's okay. I see them. You scroll up. It's not your thing. You move on. In LinkedIn, it's a little different because it's personalized. It comes into your message. And so now it's like, hey, you get an invitation. Next thing you know, you got a whole list, check out my stuff, or, can we talk about this? But someone has not, because it's automated, they're not doing their research. Right? They're not actually looking at, like, well, what is your background? What do you do for that company? Some do, but a lot of them don't. And I can tell you, it gets to a point you don't respond to those. So the return on investment now becomes very fuzzy from that side, because if I don't respond to you, you didn't get anything. Obviously from the analytics, portion of it, I'm sure they see that there's no, I don't know what the call to action was, but at that point I get a message I don't respond to it. Whoever sent that message or that campaign probably sent it to many people, but they're not getting responses. So how do we tackle that and make it a little bit less intrusive and also more productive?
Yes, absolutely. So that's bot marketing automation. Basically, they're not personalizing it, they're not doing their research, and they're just bothering people, and they're doing cold outreach to a cold audience who doesn't know anything about them. So even if it was personalized and a little bit more, creative and more high quality, why would someone be ready to buy from them immediately? Or, a lot of people even include like a link to their calendar and want you to schedule a meeting with them immediately.
That's the one. That's a big one.
People are super pushy. So the answer is just don't be pushy, just don't be salesy, and just don't be intrusive. And don't market to cold audiences, market to warm audiences, and you warm your audiences up if they have had a couple of experiences and interactions with your brand before, and they know your content, they've consumed any piece of content from you, and they've heard of you. So you get a chance to build trust and to raise awareness and to showcase your expertise as well, through your content organically. So it's not like cold outreach, who is this person? This is called inbound marketing, and the opposite will be outbound marketing, which is just calling people up out of the blue, just interrupting them in their day, and just being intrusive, or sending people direct messages via LinkedIn. All those kind of tactics are bad, and you have to have a huge volume to get even a little result back, because like you said, most people don't even reply or block them or whatever, because it's just really bad marketing. Versus if you would actually take time out of your day to do your research and try to get to know the person and actually care about them, follow them for a while, interact with the content for a while, and see who they actually are and what they post, and just comment and engage before you pitch, you would increase your chances of success so much more. But people are just impatient, they don't want to wait, they want short-term gratification or whatever, and they rather just send out marketing messages in bulk and just see whatever they get back. Yeah, because I don't know.
Oh, it's right. So I'm smiling because you mentioned something about bad marketing and it's like just outbound calling, just cold calling. That reminds me of the telemarketing, the old telemarketing when people just keep ringing. And even now, there's still telemarketing. I have actually a robo app that blocks all those things with funny messages. People stop calling you. But literally, before I used to make this joke when we do training, especially sales teams, and I say, especially when you have a telesales unit, and you say, you guys hate telemarketing? He's like, yeah, well, guess what? Now you're one of them. so telemarketing has always been, looked at as not a very comfortable situation. Whether you're calling, this was when you did actually physically. Now they just went from, personalized, type of call where you just dial in a number from a list. Now you just basically have a feed of a list that you just, bombard their intake or their inbox. And, ultimately that is not, to your point, very productive. And, but now the question is, I have not noticed this, the surge until more recently. Now, just a little bit more, I mean, you'd say COVID maybe, but before COVID, I started seeing this trend. 3-4 years ago, I literally got people that were actually connected with you, and they actually knew you, and they know exactly what you do for a living. And then when they reach out to you, you'd see that there is some connection there. There's definitely that there's a relationship that can be built. But when there's someone that just sends you, something about their service, and you and that service had nothing in common, it just kind of like, okay, whatever. So it just stays there. And I think you just point out the point right now, clearly that, hey, do you want just to cost yourself money, send a whole bunch of stuff that you don't get any return investment on? And simply, that's really what's going to happen. So again, my message personally to all the sales and marketing folks out there and businesses, if you're going to do something about it, make sure that you do tailor it to the correct audience. You warm up the audience, and that audience has to have something, a need, so you can get the correct stuff. Now, maybe you get lucky and you get someone that may respond. Now, networking is another story. If it's a networking opportunity, that's good, because I know you know somebody, and ultimately through a referral opportunity, we might be able to connect something. There's always something that can come out of a relationship, right? But when you do it that way and you just kind of like go to cold turkey, as we would call it, and there's no action out there, and basically you just wasting your time, and you get frustrated too because you're not getting any return. So that was just my quick little. I wanted to say this, before, like I said in a different show, but this came in as in a good time because we're discussing this topic, and it is valuable because I mean, it, ultimately people live in their phone right now, their tablet, more phone than tablet, I would say. And even at work, I mean, you live in your computer for the most part, and everybody has at least a few accounts in all these type of platforms, and some of those are more active than others. And of course, you mentioned Snapchat. Now TikTok is the new thing happening. YouTube is a big deal. I mean, all of them. You got Periscope, Twitter. I mean, there's so many, right? And every one of them has its own audience. Vimeo, I think that's a new platform for videos and stuff and content. And so these are all places where you can share good stuff. And of course, there is an audience for everyone. As I was saying, there's everyone for every type of product. And there's a product for everyone, right? So at the end of the day, there is opportunity. And so for you guys as an agency, you obviously open to anyone that's willing to deal with you. Obviously, you're selling services, and you want to keep doing that effectively. There are agencies and there are agencies. That's the other thing that I was saying. Now, I know you don't want to talk negative about anybody, but I'm not going to talk about negativity here. But at the end of the day, we just want to see like what would be something that, as a business, when I select an agency or I select someone to run my campaigns, to look for specifically from that agency. Is it time in the industry? Is there any metric that can other than the reviews, because the reviews can be a little bit, manipulated too. So I'm not going to go there, but there are tricks to everything, right? But like, what would be a good way to gauge a company A versus a company B to actually select, in your own perspective?
Yeah, so a lot of things can be easily manipulated, like reviews, and even like the number of years of experience doesn't mean that they're super passionate about what they're doing and they're staying up to date with everything, because the digital world changes so fast. Nothing is like it was even 2, 3, 4 years ago. So if you're not constantly keeping up with what's new and you're using state of the art technologies, so that doesn't necessarily mean that you're good at what you're doing just because you've been doing it for decades, for example. What you would have to look for is that someone really wants to get to know your business and they want to learn everything about your business to fully understand your industry and your goals and your target audience, and they're really interested in helping you. Then make sure that the agency practices what they preach. Do they have a good online presence? Do they have a website that's mobile friendly and loads fast and looks professional? What about their social media? Do they get a lot of engagement? Do they even like know what they're doing and talking about? So just look for proof, look for social proof. Make sure that they're out there and there's actual proof that they have that expertise. Make sure that you see case studies and you see success stories of similar businesses, preferably of similar businesses that are similar to your business. And yeah, make sure that they focus on like a collaboration process and they don't, promise you like a completely hands-off experience and you have no idea what it is that they're actually been doing. So yeah, make sure that there's regular meetings. They document everything. Good documentation and project management is crucial. You need to have access to your data and see your numbers and be able to get reports whenever you want to see them. And you should know how they're spending your budget and what they're doing with it at any point in time. Yeah, make sure it's like a collaboration. You have good customer service. Ask for their availabilities when they work, so they're always reachable. And yeah, make sure they're using good technology, they're using the right software that's professional to help you out in the best possible way. That's the things that you should be looking
Well,
for.
that's a question now for someone that that doesn't know the difference between what's a good software versus not. How would I differentiate that? It would be a little difficult for me. You can easily tell me this is the best thing that happened. I'm like, well, I took your word for it. So now a quick question. A new business, doesn't matter what industry. Ultimately, they usually have capital flow, and there's limitation in what they can do. I mean, campaigns can go crazy, right? But what would you recommend to a small business that needs to get their products or services out there, but in a cost-effective way? Are there packages that are available in that aspect that can meet those needs, or is there a minimum that a company must have, and is it a frequency that the company has to maintain? Because I can do a good campaign and I do a quick blitz right there, and then I die out, and then basically that may not have the impact and the results that we'd like to achieve. What would you say to that? And what would be the recommendation for somebody that is a new business, for example?
Yes, absolutely. So I would recommend to focus on inbound marketing and creating organic content if you don't have large budgets to spend on advertising. So you want to create content and you want to leverage anything that's free, like social media or like SEO, which is organic, anything that you don't have to pay for, and just leverage that to the fullest and see it as an opportunity that things like that even exist. Yes, it's competitive and it's not easy, but back in the day of traditional marketing, you wouldn't even have the chance to compete with the large corporations and their million or billion-dollar budgets. But now you can for free on things like social media and search engines, and build your email list, build your own audience that you own yourself, and leverage digital marketing tactics that involve all of that. So yeah, just leverage that to the fullest. Word of mouth marketing, that's free. Over deliver and always give your clients great results so they spread the word and encourage sharing. And yeah, make the most out of everything that you can make anything of.
Good. So now you as an agency, you actually do the creative too, right? So there is the campaigns and all the tools, but there's also the creativity or the creative portion of the business, right? Now, so what do you guys have in terms of creative potential? I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you do ads? Do you do audio, video, photo, all of the above? What kind of things do you have available?
All of that. So we do everything from web design to web development to graphic design, audio, podcasting, video,
Excellent.
any creative, art creatives, writing, anything like that. Yes.
Good. So you're a full service type of agency, and you'll basically deliver that across whoever the industry, whoever the customer or the client be, right? Now, going back to the previous question, in terms of time frame, ultimately, small budget, but what would be a good frequency to really see some result? Because a lot of people think if I just put an ad and do a little bit of a sponsor on Facebook or this and that, will that yield any results? Or is there a formula to really get in and reaching out a certain amount of people when you get that critical mass where you can start getting some action? So is there anything that, of course, I don't want you to tell me all the secret sauce here, but certainly just the highlights of, what would be something that is valuable.
Yes, so that's a general misconception. I guess you could say that people expect results overnight, but nothing happens overnight. It takes time, and you got to do a lot of testing and figure out what's working for you, because there's no such thing as like just copying and pasting like a cookie cutter template that you sometimes see those gurus advertising, like, here's my proven funnel. You can buy it here and then use it for your business. That doesn't work. You have to tailor and customize everything, and you want to almost make it like a one-on-one conversation with that person, so you really speak to them, because everybody is bombarded with ads and marketing messages all day every day online, and that's how you stand out, if you're different and you're personal and you're human. So that is just super super important, and it takes depending on the marketing strategy, it can take 6 months up to 12 months until you've tweaked everything. So you find the process and the system that works for you. Um, and you're seeing results that really move the needle. So you definitely need to be patient and it also builds up over time. So your marketing becomes stronger and stronger over time. And it's like that snowball effect that builds up. Like, for example, you invest in SEO, then over the weeks and months, more and more blog articles of yours start to rank in Google and attract more and more traffic over time. And you piggy bank little traffic numbers from a couple of keywords, and then after months, it's combined together like the snowball effect, like I said, and you see more results. Same with, like, if you're building your email list, you get more and more subscriptions, and then you don't get 10,000 subscribers overnight. Same with anything. You can't just get into video marketing, post your first video on YouTube and expect like 10,000 views in like the first week. It takes time, and that content that you put out there organically, it stays out there, and it stays, it continues to work for you and work for your business and promotes your business 24/7 every day, all day, every day, even at night while you sleep. Someone can find it, and then watch it, and then come to your website and buy from you. Or yeah, find that article, click on it, read it, and then buy a product or service from you. So yeah, it builds up over time, and you have to be patient with it.
Well, you just mentioned two key items that I'd like to highlight. One is um, people do visit your site, and they might visit the site multiple times. I mean, I do it. I go to the site, I review it, and I favorite it somewhere, I put it, or forward it somewhere where I can catch up with it later. You get back to it, maybe you go the second time, you 20. So sometimes it's not instant. You go into the site and you're just going to purchase or order a service, right? It takes time. So that's the first item. Now, you mentioned two other items that are probably misconceptions. One is you said, you put a video and you're on YouTube when you're a multimillionaire already, because that's what's happening in YouTube, right? It's a big competition, right? And everybody thinks that I'm gonna go in there, I'm just gonna be a pawn on YouTube, and I'm gonna become, the next big hit on YouTube, right? All the top YouTubers right now have probably spent, few years, and I've watched a lot of them, talking about how it started. Took them 2, 3 years, even 5 years before they got to where they are today. And it's a lot of work. It's not like, it's overnight. Then you also mentioned the Google ranking, for example, YouTube ranking. All these platforms, they do have algorithms that actually get someone to the next level. And as you build the audience, certainly things will happen. And then you start moving up in the platforms. And then eventually you get to a pool where your content is really attractive enough that people will actually start hitting. So most of people may not know that there are all these different things in place before you can just see any success. So again, the message is use an agency that knows what they're doing. One, two, make sure they understand that it's not going to be an overnight success. I mean, this is, unless you're a company that's already like super established, it doesn't matter what you put out there. You have a new product, you just promote it, you're already out there. Here's an audience. But if you're a new name or somebody that's building a company, it should take time, and that should be expected, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And make sure that they don't promise you unrealistic things, and yeah, promise you fast success, because they wouldn't be able to keep that promise.
So one key question for someone, what would be like a small budget to start with a campaign on a month-to-month basis for someone? So if there's someone out there that has a small business that want to make it happen, maybe there's an opportunity to put aside some dollars that are dedicated, which you should as a business, to have marketing dollars and a budget for any season, right? Again, right now we're in the holiday season, so there's got to be some marketing dollars for this. It's a big time to shop, right? And also provide services. So what would be a recommended number? Obviously, that can be any number from large company to small company. But if you're a startup and in your first couple of years, to be effective, at least you need to spend a dollar. Based on your experience, what could be that amount? If
Yes.
there's such.
So to be able to see results in a reasonable amount of time, investing like $1,000 a month up to like $1,700 a month is like a good guideline for is what they should calculate with.
So again, there you go. So it's not pennies. It does. You have to have a plan. You do have to have a strategy, and marketing is an industry in its own. There's a lot of pieces of marketing. Again, I can speak by experience. I mean, I run sales and marketing, so I'm a little familiar with this. But even with my expertise, we still use, agencies that do this on a day-to-day basis. I mean, that's the bottom line. There's an expert at every level, and you do need to find the right folks to do the right thing for you to get the right results. And again, doesn't matter what industry. Now, in my world of healthcare insurance world, I mean, we do use a lot of, digital marketing. We do use traditional marketing. There's always opportunity there. And I know, we talked about potentially seeing how, some of the potential ways to market, for example, in the healthcare industry. Is there even a difference? Does it matter? I mean, these mediums or ways of marketing pretty much are standard across. The content may vary, right? From an industry to the other, or the audience also may vary. But at the end of the day, the way to market, these are all ways to do it, and each one of them can be just as valuable and potential, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. There are specifications and differences from industry to industry. And yeah, there's some things that are special about any industry. I think what's noteworthy here to mention for the healthcare industry and the medical industry is that it can have a huge impact on people's lives. So a lot of platforms have stricter guidelines when it comes to those industries. For example, if you want to advertise on Facebook, you have to be really, really careful with the claim that you're making because it can affect people's health. So, yeah, that's really important. Also, on Google, for example, they rank websites and the search results to health and medical related terms. Only websites that are very authoritative and there's actual doctors and people who have that expertise to write about those things. So people with bad intentions who want to scam people and sell their wonder pills or whatever, don't rank there and can make money out of that. And yeah, basically hurt people's health.
Well, it's funny you said that because I just posted something I think last night. So CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they actually put these bulletins. And one of the biggest thing now with COVID vaccine, there's that big watch, fraud, and fraudulent, emails and things. Hey, we can save your life. We got this vaccine available down the block. All these things. So especially for the seniors and the senior market, that is a big deal. And so those types of I guess bulletins and those types of flash notes to the public are important because people tend to take advantage of any situation, and there's always, when there's a catastrophe, there's always somebody that wants to some of it's legit, some of it is not, and you get always scams and things that come up, and I think digital marketing is an easy way to actually create those opportunities, and of course being with an agency that understands those regulations is a key, because like everything else, if the agency does not know the rules, and they might not be as liable as you as the company. And so there's legal liabilities if somebody gets affected in their health, God forbid, everybody gets under, some sort of a litigation that is unnecessary. And that's not something we would recommend. So from the health platform that we are, it's important that, whatever we apply in the digital world or the marketing has to always be, conform to the regulations. Again, I was mentioning about our industry in the insurance world, especially in the government programs and working with the regulators. One of the key things, I mean, we have everything has to be compliant. Everything has to be approved, approved by compliance and by the actual regulatory agencies, whether it's the Department of Health or the actual CMS. Before it's even in the marketplace, even our ads have to go through these scrutiny, processes, and that's important. And again, that goes to every hospitals, pharmacies, pharmaceutical companies. I mean, pharmaceutical companies have to go through all these disclaimers, and then they run them quickly, blah blah blah. It's crazy. Some people say, like, well, why do they have to tell us about all the bad side effects? Well, that's because that's a regulation. You have to tell people about risks, So, but then if the company is not legit, or they're using mediums that are not correct, or they're not savvy enough, you might fall in the trap and then become liable for issues that you didn't have to deal with, especially if you're a startup, type of project or business. So again, that's just a quick note on the health piece of it, because that is a big, component, believe it or not, in the scheme of things. So Monique, your agency, how available are you guys, and how can someone reach out to you and utilize your services?
We are available almost anywhere. So you can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Our website is dragon-digital-marketing.com. There you can also find a lot of helpful resources and learn more and reach out to us through that.
And we have you, Monique. Now, you're the point, the access point for us, right? And
That's right.
For the audience watching today or listening on the radio. So again, Monique is our contact, and again, Dragon Digital Marketing in Florida, but they market, anywhere, everywhere. the internet exists, I'm assuming, right? And the good news about the internet is worldwide. Everywhere. I mean, you can have international products, you can have international services, you can be, segmented in a particular geographic area. It doesn't matter. And again, as Monique mentioned earlier, they do a little bit of everything. So again, I do welcome Monique. Thank you first of all, Monique, for the opportunity to be on the show and sharing with us a little bit of the intel and the backgrounds and all the different things that people should consider when they think digital marketing. I'm pretty sure some folks that are listening in for the first time, they might hear about all the different things that may be in the back end, because we all know, there's an ad. Okay, so what does that mean? How does it work? I mean, there's more to it, right? And obviously, we cannot cover everything in about half hour of our time. There's more to this. I mean, people, study these things for years, and they actually have to build some experience in the context of media in general, and especially in the digital world. So, Monique, any last words, and any last recommendation?
Yeah, always stay positive. And I think that the health industry and medical industry is one of the few lucky industries that have a lot of potential for growth during those crazy times. So that's a positive thing. And if you're marketing your healthcare business, always stay positive and draw a picture of how people's new, better life would look like. So you always want to delight people and not make them feel bad or old or sick or fat or anything like that. So keep that in mind. So for example, instead of saying, I don't know, lose your pouch, say feel fit and fantastic in 10 minutes a day or something like that. So that would be a marketing tip for the healthcare industry in particular for me.
Well, Monique,
Great experience. You want positive experience and elicit a positive feeling in people, because it also increases your brand value if you have this emotional connection and you leave people feeling better, how people expect to be treated from you when they call you on the phone, which is why they buy from you and develop a liking for you. So that's really important. You can really differentiate yourself if you're not like everybody else pressing on pain points.
that is an excellent point. As a matter of fact, I believe in those rules. I mean, in my world, I just had a training literally today, and we talked about the experience of the customer, and it's all about that, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of products out there, there's a lot of services out there, and they all kind of preach the same thing, but the difference is who delivers and who just talks, and who really takes it to the next level and make a difference in people's life versus just like, hey, you're just another customer. And when you have that customer based focus, then you'll get all the results and the successes there, almost guaranteed. Of course, not overnight, but you'll build there. I mean, trust is not something that gets, earned over, 2 minutes. It takes time to build trust. And, people have to test you, they have to check on you, they have to hear it. And the more the word is out, the buzz is out there about you and your content and who you are, then the more you're going to get the excitement in the industry as well as in the public eye. With that, we will close our, our show tonight. Hurricane H here. Thank you for watching the iHealth channel and listening on iHealth Radio. Thank you, Monique. Monique Dragon Digital Marketing. And we look forward to the next show and the next guest. Stay safe out there. And I would say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for anyone that's watching this show. And goodbye for now.